Welcome back, you lot. Apologies for the voice. I don't know what's happened. Apparently, it's decided to leave. But we've got something to look at. We've got a new reveal for the new Warhammer Quest Darkwater box, you know what I mean. Oh no. Look, they revealed the dwarf, or the Duodin Explorer, Drolf Ironhead. I did have to read that again. Drolf is an atrocious name. Genuinely difficult to pronounce for me. I don't really know why. Also, I'm pretty sure I said the other thing wrong as well, but it's fine. You're used to that at this point. Now, this was the one that a lot of people got very excited about. When they initially decided to have people vote to decide who was revealed first, there were a lot of complaints that it wasn't this lad. And I think maybe we may have been somewhat underwhelmed if it had been the first model to be shown off, because really, in essence, what we have here is a fantasy dwarf. That's literally it. It's a fantasy dwarf. It is the most fantasy dwarf I have ever seen. This is Drolf Ironhead, the Grizzled Explorer, and if you asked me to, learn to draw, and then draw you a fantasy dwarf, I think I'd do this guy. I think that's what I'd do. I would draw this, I'd maybe stick a helmet on him, but beyond that, it doesn't really get more, archetypal than this, does it? This, compared to the lad we saw last week with the mad helmet, this feels, to be fair, it's still great. It's just so understated in comparison, you know? The comparison between this and what we had, night and day. It's also super interesting to me because we really sort of have a couple of flavours of dwarfs still remaining in Age of Sigmar, and the ones that get the most attention, the ones that I see the most of, are either the Fyreslayers or the Kharadron Overlords. Now, with the Fyreslayers, you've got essentially half-naked lads with giant weapons running around. For the Kharadron Overlords, you have your sort of steampunk dwarves flying around the place. This is so normal compared to pretty much anything else that they've done more recently. This is alarmingly just a guy. Just a normal, regular, short guy with a couple of hefty-looking axes, a little bit of armour across the gut there, and that's really kind of it. Now, I feel like I was expecting something a lot more grand, a lot more AOS, I guess, than this, based off the last model that we saw. But the thing is, I can't really complain, because while it is relatively simple, while he does just look like exactly what you'd expect him to look like from the description, it looks good. This is unarguably quite a simple model in many ways. In terms of the overall styling, it's relatively plain, but at the same time, it's like they've gone, okay, let's keep it basic, but let's do the best version of basic that we can do. We're not going to go wild with armor, we're not going to go wild with weapons, we're going to keep things pretty standard, but just because it's standard doesn't mean that it shouldn't be great. I think the pose looks absolutely fantastic. I think that looks really good. I love the different layers of like cloth and stuff we've got on. The fact he's got this robe slash hood slash cape is kind of difficult to tell because some of the cloth at the front is painted the same colour as the hood and the cloak itself. The fact that we've got that, but then there's a bit of like edging, a bit of like gilt across the side of it, that looks really, really nice. I think giving him a hood as opposed to a helmet, like it being more sort of rangery look, I really like that. That's a cool choice. I like the way they've set things up with the backpack that he's got over his shoulder there. You can very clearly see the strap going across the chest. It kind of gives this multi-layered feeling. I do quite like the beard as well. I like the way they've painted the beard too. Big old ginger beard, but with some darker spots. It's very distinctive and I think it works pretty well. I'm curious as to what that other weapon on his belt is, whether that's another axe. The design of the boots is really good. I like the climbing rope that's hooked onto the belt there. This is just a very nicely done model. It feels mostly utilitarian, but there is still a little bit of decoration here and there. It's not like he's totally plain and without any sort of personalisation, but the overall feel is here to do a job, you know? I do like the design on the axes as well. They're kind of cool. They feel a bit fancier than literally anything else that he's got on his person, which does feel kind of appropriate for some reason. So Drolf Ironhead is a rare breed, for he thrives in the tangled labyrinth of the Aquian forest, hacking past through some of the most formidable terrain in the Everspring Swathe. So he's from a Khazalid clan that once made their home in the Mistral Peaks, allies of the Jade Abbey, and they fought in its defence until a plague flood unleashed by Gelgus Pust, what a horrible name, Jesus, inundated their halls and drowned most of them. Wow, drowned in a plague flood. That sounds like a nasty way to go. Drolf was naught but a beardling, but he still remembers the oath he swore to avenge his kin. Decades of survival out in the wilds, yeah, I mean, he's just a fully ranger archetype for this lad then. Also, he's going to hew the Prince of Swords to pieces with his twin axes. The Prince of Swords. Ugh. We do have a video, so maybe we'll get a little bit more in the way of some fun angles. I doubt it, though, based off last week's reveal. But we'll take a look and see. At the very least, I want to see that other weapon, so maybe we might get that. That would be nice. Oh, okay, we do. We do get a decent, proper angle from the... That is a massive, like, haversack backpack thing he's got there. Good lord, that's big. Also, it looks like a hand repeater crossbow thing? I don't know what to describe that as, but it looks like there's 3 bolts. Oh, it's in pieces, I see. Okay, that's kind of cool. The arms are like being tied to it for transport. That's interesting, I like that. At least I assume that's how that works. I mean, it would make sense, right? Have we got something from the other side? Okay, no, but we do know that it's another axe. It is another axe on the belt there. Cool, interesting, that's fun. A smaller axe for if he needs to hit something having thrown one of his other axes. Who knows? I do really like the contrast here. The contrast between this model and the last one that we saw is absolutely huge, and oh, it's good. Feels like we've got a nice variety of different styles going on here, but it's all complementary. It all fits into the overall world. Liking it a lot. So there you go. If you were disappointed at the lack of dwarf last time, well, you got him this time. Drolf Ironhead looks solid. Let me know what you think of this lad in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. I'm going to go. My voice is going. Bye.